Hello, my name is Sarah Nadler. I am a trainer here at Silkin Management Group, and today I want to talk to you about how to get comfortable with handling patient and client objections to treatment. The truth is that most people are not very confident in how to handle objections. Doctors are no exception to this rule. The first step to handling this is understanding the path of pain that your patient or client is likely to experience without treatment. The biggest barrier to buying anything is lack of trust. In the world we live in of telephone scams, government graft, and empty promises, the general public have become ever more jaded with each passing year. So to overcome that, you need to understand two things about trust. People only spend their hard-earned cash when you can solve a problem that is real to them. And two, your first and most important goal in the treatment plan presentation must be to demonstrate that you are worthy of trust. I want you to ask yourself this question: what do I have to do to earn the trust and confidence of my patients or clients? When you can answer that question, you are that much farther on the road to handling their objections. Think about it. Your patient or client is here in front of you because they have a problem. Understanding what that problem is in their own words, not yours, is the first step toward demonstrating that you're the right person to help them solve it. You have to speak their language, not yours. As a veterinarian, for example, no client stays up all night worrying about the fact that they don't have a flea and tick preventative. No, they're worrying about the fact that Fluffy is scratching. So Fluffy scratching and the problems that that presents for the client and the worry and the emotions that they feel are the language that you need to speak. Really, the first thing you need to know about handling objections is that 80% of sales happen after the third attempt to close. The third attempt. So when you hear the first, "I just don't have the money," the wrong thing to do is to give up or decide the person isn't ever going to agree with you. Remember, like any other talent, treatment plan presentation is a skill that has to be honed and drilled to perfection. That's why we have a treatment plan presentation workshop here at Silkin. These require drilling. If you only have one set pattern or one way of asking for that final decision, you're not going to be able to deal with objections. Or you'll deal with them by shutting down, getting nervous, embarrassed, stuttering, or failing to make eye contact. And those reactions destroy the trust you worked so hard to build and result in a no that could have been a yes. The next thing to know is that price is rarely ever the problem. That objection simply means that the patient or client hasn't recognized or perceived the value that's attached to the service. Remember, you're doing best medicine, you're changing lives. And if they truly felt that the value you're offering was vastly important and superior to the cost, they would at least attempt to find the means to pay for it. Now, saying that to a patient or client is not going to help you. But instead of being stopped dead in your tracks by a price objection, I want you to try next time simply acknowledging it honestly. Yeah, you're right. It is an expensive treatment. And the next thing I want you to do is close your mouth and listen. See, what listening does when you've heard an objection and you simply acknowledge and accept it without batting back, without giving your own objection to their objection or trying to just go right back into what you were saying. When you just acknowledge, accept, and then listen, what you do is you actually help your own mind to separate what kind of objection it is. Because essentially there are two types of objections. The first type is the person who feels that they haven't quite made it over the hump of trust quite yet. Remember what I said, 80% of the way when you're trying to sell anything is just actually creating enough trust that they listen to your opinion. So when we just quiet down and we listen after acknowledging and accepting, one of two things will happen. Either the patient will repeat their objection, in which case it was probably not a trust issue, but a genuine problem that they're running into, or two, they're going to start talking themselves into actually doing the service. So again, as I said, you just stop, you acknowledge, you understand and accept that they have a genuine concern about the cost. And when you've acknowledged that, you shut your mouth and you listen. And whatever comes out of the mouth, you use what they're saying to help them make the right choice for them. This is really where ethical sales comes in, because these systems that we teach here at Silkin only work when you're actually pushing best medicine. If what you're trying to push on the person is not in their best interests, this probably isn't going to work. But if you just listen and you actually use whatever comes out of their mouth to help them make the right choice for them, you're going to find it much easier and smoother and more comfortable in your heart and in your head to actually help them overcome that objection. Let me give you an example. Let's say the person repeats the objection. Yeah, it is too expensive and I don't have the money. Well, now we know that it wasn't a trust issue. It's actually a genuine concern of theirs. And knowing that, we might say something like, I totally understand. Would you be interested in hearing how other patients have been able to work out the money? Remember, you have to be willing to dive into the person's personal details a little bit to actually overcome a price objection, because money is a personal matter. But you're a doctor. If you can ask personal questions about their health, surely you can ask personal questions about their finances too, in an appropriate way and only when it's in the patient or client's best interests. When you approach it from that aspect, it makes you feel more comfortable and them feel more comfortable about parting with the details that will actually help them figure out how they're going to afford a more expensive treatment. This also gives you the opportunity to go right back to demonstrating the value of it to that patient or client, reminding them of their own desire for the benefits and touching on any further consequences or ways in which they will miss out on life if they do not solve this problem. By using their own words and painting a picture with that patient or client of what their lives could be like, what pain they could avoid or the problem they could solve by saying yes, you can gain a lot more compliance to treatment plans and help a lot more people without that yucky, salesy feeling.